My colleague, Lisa Thomas. She's in Knox-Pater, no, she's in Starkville, Mississippi, not in Knox-Pater any longer. And she is a faculty member at Graceland University and has been a faculty member at Mississippi State University. And Lisa teaches from a distance, and she was instrumental in designing Graceland's online programs. So I wanted her to talk to us a little bit today about problem-based learning, and then we're going to do an activity because we are going to be active learners as we are in problem-based learning. So we're going to do a little activity, and it's going to be kind of fun. I'll introduce you to some tools that maybe you can use in your classroom, and we'll probably get out of here a little before 2 because I think last week we kind of figured out 2 hours of listening is a really long time. So we'll probably get out before 2. In your packet, or rather before 3, before 2 hours. In your packet, the very last page is an evaluation of the workshop. And so if you will, please, before you leave, fill that out and just leave it on the music stand. And that will help us to be sure that we're doing things that are benefiting you and help us to know the things that we can do better. So before we get started, Lisa, you're actually looking at me, so I wonder if I can show you our...
yeah. Hey, everyone.
Hi. This is our audience. So
it's great to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I wonder if we could talk just for a minute about, or if you wouldn't mind giving me a show of hands, how many of us have worked with problem-based learning in our classes to this point? The camera out that way. While you begin your presentation for us, Lisa has created a little presentation for us on problem-based learning, primarily geared toward those of us who haven't used it as much. And then she's also going to share with us the way that Graceland used problem-based learning in their classes online in their programs.
Hey, let me get in first, introduce myself, just a little bit about myself, and tell you where I come from. I am a middle school teacher and loved it. Absolutely enjoyed middle school teaching. But the issue that I had with middle school teaching, as you all know, sometimes we are in confines of textbooks or we're in confines of principles or direction and focus, that kind of thing. But the thing that I never really tired of was allowing the student to be the author of knowledge. That's really the where it starts, where problem-based learning starts. As most of you know, problem-based learning came to the forefront probably in the 1970s. Do you want me to share my screen at this time?
It's up to you, Lisa.
All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen a little bit and let you see where I'm going. So it's going to take just a moment. All right. There I am. So, okay, so most of you know that and there it dropped off. Hang on just a second. Most of you know that it really started kind of with the 1970s era, where medical schools kind of were giving their interns and their students a problem, if you will, and asking them to theorize and think through it and to really begin to conceptualize where they should go with that problem. Well, that all centers around back to John Dewey and his philosophies back in the 60s and even before. But as you can see what Gloria Steinem says, we have to unlearn kind of what we've learned in terms of teaching. As teachers, we have been ingrained into the idea that we are the author of knowledge and we are to impart knowledge onto our students. So in essence, for us, the first problem really is to unlearn what we've learned before. And so with that in mind, problem-based learning, or PBL, really is, it presents with a problem, not lectures or assignments or exercises. You're not really handed content, you're handed a problem, the student. They're handed a problem, and so then they begin to theorize and understand, what do I need to do to solve this problem? Well, problem-based learning really does give you opportunities to discover what you need to learn. What does that mean? That means that if your teacher introduces to the student an ill-structured problem and discusses that problem statement and lists its significant parts, then the students can begin to examine and try out what they know about that problem and begin to develop those ideas of what they need to do to fix it. So as a result of problem-based learning, they get to understand what they need to learn, which is a skill that our students need to have in the workforce more and more every day. They develop their skills with other people and trying to push other people to think beyond the box. It allows the student to develop those communication skills that are so pivotal for every learning environment. And it challenges those quiet students that normally would sit in your classroom and not ever say anything to really begin to defend those arguments that they have and provide evidence of why they are being argumentative. And then also, they have to develop those skills of being flexible, that they are not always right, that their logic may be faulty, they may have issues that need to be addressed by others, and they begin to practice the skills they need that after their education is finished. So, to begin, they begin to, after the teacher is given a problem, and they begin to explore ideas. They identify, what do we know first? They say, okay, about this problem, what is it that I know initially about this problem? What are the things that I've learned in my background of experience that really can lead me to a greater understanding of how to structure my problem solution? Then they began to develop and write out the problem statements in their words. They are fleshing it out. It's a written statement, it's an agreement for the group, how they're going to approach it, and it's feedback from this instructor. And then they began to list out the possible solutions. And the really important part of the plan is that they begin to prioritize those possible solutions. Which ones should yield the better result? And as group members or individuals, they begin to really understand that there are solutions for one problem. And then after they've accomplished this, they list actions to be
taken with a timeline. Okay, and that involves allowing them to see that there are time-sensitive issues that need to be addressed. And then finally, they began to document what they need to know, research the knowledge and data that will support the solution, look for other possible resources, and assign and schedule research tasks. Okay. Finally, then they analyze and they present their information that they've collected, and they begin to defend it, and they publish their information. Now, how does this apply to Graceland University and what we've accomplished?